sweatshirt match.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Oh my god.
You know why? You know why? Because I debated so hard between these ones and the purple ones, and I thought I got the purple ones. And how often do I look at my headset? Yeah. So, hello.
We're just gonna ignore the fact that you snapped yourself in the face with your headphones.
Welcome everyone to
Wow.
episode what is this?
8?
7? 8?
I think it's 8.
Yeah, 8. I'm gonna tell everyone I just got a new comfort sweatshirt. It's the affirmation zip up, and I am not a fan of zip ups, but boy oh boy am I a fan of looking like a cute hoodlum. Like, I like wearing this zip up because it slides off.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see my shoulder. It's kind of scandalous.
I mean, I like them for that reason. But I can't. The sensation is murderous to me.
So, I have yet to wear it. Like, first off, in public because the color, and I've only been to work. I'm gonna be pissed if I get color on this.
Yeah.
Second, I don't like when hoodies, like, you zip it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom is, like, scrunchy, so I feel like it's squeezing my belly, and it's not. Do you know what I mean when I say scrunchy, though?
Like it gets
Like
all
this,
folded
like
up.
It's
elastic.
Tight. Yeah, it's tight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily like that.
I think it's meant to hang over.
Well, this is an X small.
It's supposed to hang over. You fit on. The best part about these hoodies is the fact that the wrists and the waistbands fit.
This is slightly too tight.
Well, you got a teeny tiny little one.
Look how
They're meant to be gigantic.
everyone said in the Discord, because I'm part of their ambassador Discord, you're supposed to size down 2 sizes for zip ups as you wear in their norm. And their norm, I already sized down 1 because I normally get medium. I sized down 1 for that. They don't have an XX small, so I got an extra small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I got a teeny tiny size, because that's what they're recommended. And honestly, if I got a small, think how I would literally, like, swim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already swimming in the XS.
Yeah.
So
It's meant to be that way, though. Just be old gigantic. Real extra oversized.
I check on a daily basis if our pre-order shipped.
I'm really looking forward to the day that my sweatshirt finally comes.
No.
What happened?
My cord's in my hoodie.
It'd be okay. Have you ever heard of the brand Fleur? It's a fragrance brand.
Is that the... Oh, my God. I want a backstory because I'm slightly internally angry at you. Jessie comes to my house all the time, and she's like, if we're going somewhere, she's like, hey, I forgot to put on your perfume. Do you have any perfume? But I don't want vanilla. She never wants any bakery vanilla.
Okay, here's...
anything like that, okay? She calls me the other day, hey, Cody got me this amazing perfume. It's like whipped cream vanilla. What the
Hold on.
My vanilla's not good enough.
All I can think is this isn't even like a vanilla scent, I don't think. Like the original Bath and Body, like brown sugar vanilla.
I don't wear that. I don't
but
like
that's
that.
all I can think about when I think about actual vanilla perfumes. Okay. So they have eau de perfumes that are very expensive. They're $100 each, and they're like teeny tiny little bottles. Mm-hmm. Granted, the scent of that's supposed to last like way more high quality, whatever. So anyway, they did a full size set of their vanilla skin and their heavy cream. And there are so many wonderful things about this, but they came in a set. They're full size. They're really big. Somebody on TikTok was like, I took the stripper's advice. Like, this smells amazing together, whatever. You have to go look at the video. It just like sold me. And at the time, I guess I was feeling impulsive, and I sent it to Cody, and I was like, just start making a note of all the things I send you. This is something I want.
Because Cody will ask me 3 days before your birthday what he should get you.
So I made this. I told him to make this list. He didn't make the list. He just fucking bought it and didn't tell me. So he told me on Monday that a surprise was coming on Tuesday, but it arrived on Monday. And I saw that a package had come, but I was like, it could be anything, whatever. So I go out and get the box, and it's freaking the Fleur. He didn't tell me. It's the Fleur box. And I was like, oh my God, he bought it for me. This is so exciting. So I go and I open them. And, you know, like Maggie said, I've never really wanted to smell like vanilla. But the thing is, Sol de Janeiro 40 is my favorite scent ever. I know it's freaking cheap ass body spray essentially, but like it's vanilla with this beautiful plum scent behind it. I love plum. It's the best. So my thought was that I could get this like more elevated vanilla-y, marshmallowy scent and then add something on top of it that would last, because the Sol de Janeiro 40 doesn't last like at all. It's awful.
Yeah, so her thought process worked, except for she called me to tell me how good the vanilla perfume
Oh my God, it smells so good. Because it has this like smoky background to it. It's so good. I'll make you smell me when we're done.
I do smell you.
You can smell
great.
me?
Yes.
Oh, great.
I mean, but I it's very, like, I smell your normal perfume right now.
Because it's layered on top, and I think it's holding together.
I always smell that perfume when you come over.
I can't smell it.
Yeah, but I think that you're used to it. Like,
but I can smell this vanilla, like,
because you haven't had it more than 3 days.
Listen, I wore it to, I put it on that day. Let me tell you, the best part about this perfume is the way it fucking comes out of the bottle. I know that's such an absurd thing, but you press the little thingy down and the way it puffs out is just so clean and satisfying, and it looks nice, and the mist is like the perfect size. It doesn't like shoot out like a body spray. It's amazing. Okay, love it.
This
Hold up. Then I worked out. I was disgusting. I'd done leg day. I was so sweaty. Could still smell it amazing after. It was fantastic.
Yeah, you fucking texted.
I know. It was like I worked out and I still smell good. This is amazing. It's great.
This kind of has something to do with it, but I remember one time that you said that I have a certain scent, and it was when I was a smoker, and I was like, oh no, I smell like cigarettes. And you told me that I, like, when you smell vanilla bakery, you think of me.
Yeah, the smell that you have is like a lot sweeter than like the vanilla that like I like.
That was the nicest compliment you've ever given me. I was a smoker, and you're still like, no, you normally smell like vanilla, and I'm like,
yeah, you really don't. You didn't smell like cigarettes.
Well, because I did shower every day. Seems like some smokers just don't shower.
I often wonder if it has to do with what you put on your hair and how much you're sealing like
the cuticle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like going in.
Yeah.
A lot of people also do smoke in enclosed areas, and I never did that.
Yeah.
Like, even in, I guess, like, the only place I would do that is a local bar, and the very next day I would wash my hair.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't capable that night. But, like, I would, if I ever smoked on an indoor thing, I immediately was like, yeah, my hair, gotta go. It's gotta get washed.
Yeah, I never worried about, like, our pillows smelling like smoke, because you just didn't really smell like that.
You're so nice.
It drives me nuts when Cody... My husband smokes and then quits smoking and then smokes and quits smoking. Right now he thinks that bumming 4 cigarettes a week off of like this one guy he works with doesn't count. I think it does.
He's still smoking.
Yeah. Just because you're not buying them doesn't really mean it doesn't count.
He was here at a fire not too long. I guess it was last summer. So like a year ago.
Yeah.
And he was smoking, and he said something to me about like, do you want one? And I was like, don't ever offer me one ever, because if I start,
it's not gonna stop.
I'm never coming back to where I am right now.
Yeah.
I am almost 2 years into my non-smoking. I do vape, but I'm almost 2 years into not smoking cigarettes. And every single day I'm still like, just one. One would be okay.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Sometimes Cody swaps to cigarettes because
chewing.
Yeah. Rips his lip up so much. And I did get him to explain to me why he won't just like switch to pouches fully. And he said there's just something about taking a big old dip and putting it in.
Nothing.
And I was like, and he's like, I chew on it. And I was like, this is...
Nothing says redneck. Like talking about how great your dip is.
I think he said a big old rip, which makes it even fucking better.
Yeah.
Oh, the thing about him, I'm sure I've said this before, is that he vehemently denies that he is like
Any bit country.
Yeah, buddy.
I should.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna tell another story that everyone on the internet's gonna be like about.
Does this one involve me?
No, but I recently went to visit him at work, so we could have like a date night, I guess, down there, because there's a lot more stuff, obviously, and there's a hibachi restaurant we really like to go to, but we wanted to get sushi.
Just so you know, he works like 2.5 hours from us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, in a different state. So we go to the hibachi restaurant to get our sushi, and he forgot his phone at the hotel, and like he wasn't bothered about it. He didn't say anything, but he said to me. He said to me as we walk in the hibachi restaurant, he's like, I forgot my phone, so you're going to have to really talk to me. And I was like, say less. I don't think I shut up the entire time we were together. But when I think he doesn't, I think it's completely subconscious. I don't think he realizes like the compulsion of picking up our phones.
Yeah.
I do not think that he consciously realizes how bad we are about doing that. Yeah. So because he didn't have his phone, we had the most attentive conversation ever. And I felt so filled up, like my cup felt so full that he could continue to not talk to me for several more days. It would be fine.
Well, that's good.
Because he talked to me so much. It was fantastic. And he was like, that was actually really great. After I like brought it up, he's like, we should do that more often. And I was like,
and then you left your phone at the sushi restaurant.
Oh my God, yeah. I forgot it there. I clearly didn't care about it either. You know what I did care about though? My gluten-free soy sauce I brought with me to the sushi restaurant.
Of course you did. Of course you fucking did.
The soy sauce really gets me.
Well, I mean, if it makes your life easier.
I felt better.
I really want you to try those supplements that helps with gluten intolerance.
I'm gonna. You know what? Where was I going? I think when we went to Wings on Wednesday, I thought about coming to the salon and asking her if she had any. I'd be like, I'll pay you $1 for 2 of them right now, and we'll just see what happens.
Did she get them?
Huh?
I didn't know that she got them.
Yeah, she showed them to me. She was like, these are the things. She's like, I've been taking them for a week, and they've been really helpful. She's like, I haven't been like intentionally eating stuff, but
yeah, she just told me about them. She's like, you need to tell. Like before this, she's like, you need to tell Jesse. You need to tell Jesse.
These are, I guess we're being mysterious. These are Mary Ruth's like gluten intolerance pills. I'm sure they have a different name, but they're to like help. Typically, they're digestive enzymes that help like break down the protein that is gluten and help prevent it from like harming you. Now, if you like, I don't have celiac, but I obviously have more than just an intolerance. So it's hard to say if that will help or not. But like the ones that I'd previously taken when I was at Maggie's wedding didn't really seem to make any difference for me. Given that I was on the toilet every night at 8 p.m. every day and couldn't go out. So we're going to try these ones maybe. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Fried food is a really good time to try it because it's just like cross-contamination from the fried oil.
Right.
And typically not anything else. And that does bother me a little bit, but not a wild amount. So
I just feel like you should try it because I'm never excited for you to try new things, and I'm really excited for you to try this. I don't know. It's selfishly.
I'll give it a try.
Selfishly, I
need to order them.
I'll remind you later.
I need to do that. There's other things I gotta order off Amazon.
Actually, you should just text Cody and be like, hey, if you ever want to get me a gift, it'll show up tomorrow.
Probably. But like, you just need those now. Why would you even need me to get these as a gift?
And then you'd be like, yeah, you right. What a sweet husband you are. This was never my plan at all.
He literally, he's all the time. He's like, just give whatever you want. I'm the bank.
Yeah, that's what he told me when I asked him if you guys would go to Universal. He's like, I'm just the bank. Jesse makes the decisions.
He tells me all the time that in like the most positive way. He's like, we can do whatever you want. You just.
He tried to tell me that he was broke when we talked about Universal. He's like, where's the money coming from? And I was like, excuse the fuck out of me.
I think that was around the same time that we. Remember how it was like his paycheck was $1,000 less than he expected?
That was before, or I said that before, though.
Was it? Well, either
think
way.
so.
Remember how I told you that?
Yeah.
Well, we set up direct deposit to put money into a it's a Wealthfront account, and actually I can post my link, and you can open a Wealthfront account, and you can get an additional 0.5%. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're getting 4.5% on a savings account, that's fucking huge.
Yeah.
It's also actually a checking account, so you can get a debit card for it, so you can like
Use it as well.
use it while it's saving. Anyway, so we used to have it in a USAA savings account, and then we moved to this Wealthfront account because we're 4.5% versus 0.1% savings.
Right.
It's absurd. So apparently, when we finally got the money to go into Wealthfront, I just like didn't think about checking the USAA account.
Oh, it was in there.
So we're actually double dipping for our savings. So we're saving double right now. This is going well. Because he forgets all the time
that
we
in
even
there,
have
and
the
that's
savings.
perfect.
And he's like, oh my God, we don't have any money. I can't be spending almost $300 in a week in sheets. Like he did that one time where he was like, wow, we have no money. I wonder how. And then I go back and add up all his sheets purchases, which are not gas.
No,
It's
food.
all food.
Yeah,
and it was
food and
almost
drinks.
$300. And I'm like, wonder where that went.
Very confusing.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Very mysterious.
So it works out when we're putting all this money back in savings, because then he just forgets about it. And I know that we have the money to do whatever we need to, but he doesn't.
Let's get on a topic.
We love the 30-minute intros. What do you mean? So now that our intros
Done.
out of the way,
We gotta shut the fuck up.
we had a lot to say.
I know I haven't talked to you much this week. I've been busy. So I'm gonna say that this is a conspiracy / con. You gonna do a spooky sound or? So backstory behind this. We just need to know about Kirby Carpenter. All right.
Oh, yes. I actually forgot until this very moment what you were going to talk to me about.
Yes. So Kirby Carpenter, this is all in 2022. I just want a background. This person's very important of who he is. So 2022, he's 32 years old. He lives in a very small town. The population is 209 people. It's not considered a town or a city.
It's a village.
It's yes, considered village. He's a very country man. He loved motorcycles. He loved fast cars, hiking, shooting guns, blah, blah, blah. All the fun stuff. He was a Marine. Very successful, especially in such a small town. He owned 2 different businesses, sold them, and then opened a business it is called the Mississippi Gold Silver Coin Exchange. Mm-hmm. So it was all like gold, silver. He had rental properties. So he is a very well-established person. He's pretty damn wealthy, especially in his area. People described him as very kind, genuine. He would go into the gas station and pay for people's gas before they could even like get the pump in to their car. His biggest happiness in life was being a dad. Okay. I just needed to like shoot off some facts about him so everyone knew the type of person he was. I didn't know him personally. This is all research. This is all hearsay. But it seems as though most people that knew him said the same thing about him, that he was just a very good, kind, very down to earth. Okay? Okay, that's just for later.
Okay.
So, this is also tea time. Honestly, it's 3 in 1. So, one time, one of my employees recently started working it was a year and a half ago or so. She started working extra days, to get, like, more clients. And we get a new client, totally normal. We probably have, like, 5 new clients a week. This is not, like, abnormal whatsoever. She does it, all goes well. No problem. It was like 4 days later, maybe. I don't think it was a whole week later. I wake up for work. Actually, it might have been a Friday. I think I woke up for work. And I have a message from my employee on Facebook with a news article attached. And it says, hey, I'm pretty sure this is my client from last week. And I was like, what? Because the news article didn't really tell me much. like the title of it. So I go in and it says, Caitlin Spence has been arrested for capital murder. Okay.
And we're all like,
I'm allowed to use names because it's all public knowledge. So
yeah.
and I was like, I wasn't there, but her mugshot was not in the actual news article. So I hurry up, I find a mugshot that was taken like 12 hours prior, send it to her, and I was like, is this her? And she replies and she's like, yep, that's a 4R in her hair or something, like whatever the formula was. She's like, yep, that was definitely her. My employee said, like, because I was like, you not ask her if she murdered people or what? And she's like, no, that's not a typical question. She said, I never would have expected it. She was very kind. She was like very gentle, quiet, seemed as though she just left an abusive relationship. The way she talked to my employee was that, like, she was never allowed to have red in her hair from her ex-boyfriend. I still think it's wild that she talked very little about Kirby, but when she did not once mention that he was dead.
Weird.
Very fucking odd.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, not once was she like, oh yeah, like, he passed away. She was like, yeah, he was really controlling. He wouldn't let me do this. He wouldn't let me do that.
This is what she told her.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Interesting.
The vibe that Shelby got is she just left a very abusive relationship.
So that's what she like painted the picture to her.
Yeah, and my salon is very good with, like, you share what you want, but we're not going to, like, pick at it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to necessarily ask you intrusive questions or for you to go on more. You talk about what you're comfortable with and we leave it at that. So I'm like hammering my employee. Did she say this? Did she say anything about this? Did she say anything about this? No. However, she did rebook her appointment in 6 weeks or whatever it was when she left. Left a good tip. Very nice. All was well. So this was because when my employees have clients that are mean, bitchy, or they think are going to be a problem, they immediately tell me when they leave so I can be on the lookout for it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was said about her whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. So there was no clues whatsoever. I'm still a little bit mad at her for not asking her if she ever murdered anyone, but that's whatever. So, in Mississippi, I don't specifically know how Caitlin and Kirby met.
I don't remember seeing either how they met. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But
yeah,
knowing where she comes from,
yes,
I'm sure they had a lot.
You went to high school with her, did you not?
I didn't.
Your sister
My
did.
sister would have.
When Caitlin and Kirby meet, he buys a house with 12 acres on it, and it's right beside a rental that he has that has over 100 acres on it. So they have a lot of land. The house is very, very nice. When I saw, like, the video of it, it wasn't like a mansion by any means, but it was a really nice house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume it was worth a lot of money. He had a lot of money, and he was very generous. I want to say that he had 2 kids as well. He has one with Caitlin.
Yeah.
And then he had one prior to her with his ex-girlfriend. And their co-parenting was just amazing. Like, there was never any problems with that. This is just, like, information. So we're going to talk about all of it. But Enola is the name of Caitlin and his baby. His other child's name was Towns.
Okay.
I just need that, like, clear. Who's who. Okay, so they get pregnant, very excited. In the house, they're in the house. They share the news. They have the baby. Jeffrey and Karen Spence, which is Caitlin, the murderer's parents, okay, they come and say that they're going to stay for a week and 2 after the baby is born to help. Super helpful. Like, that would be really great to have people helping you. They stay for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
I love my mother-in-law. My max out is like a week. of someone else staying in my house. And like it's different because, in case people don't know, we're essentially a halfway house for men that don't want to be in their relationship anymore, and they just come freaking live with us for a month. And they leave. It's like, we raised these grown men, and then they fly off and get their own apartment, and I'm like, oh, look how good.
To be fair, you've only done that for approximately 2 people.
We've only had the house 2 years.
Once a year. you take in a charity case. What can you say?
Anyways, yeah, so they end up staying for 4 months, and they go back to Virginia on December 1st. December 2nd, right after they leave, Caitlin texts Kirby's mom. Actually, she might have called her and asked if she knew where Kirby was, because she hasn't seen Kirby in 2 days. 2 full days.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, I mean, it's her boyfriend, not her husband, but like,
you live together. That's your partner.
he
period.
also comes home every night. His pride and joy is being a father. So like, he wants to be, whether he wanted to be with Caitlin or not, there was never anything said against that, but you never know what's happening. He loved his kids more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Odd. Weird.
That's a bit weird.
That's weird.
That was weird.
If Zach didn't come home, like, if Zach's like 20 minutes late from coming home, like, hello? You okay?
I can't think of a single situation if Cody was home, like supposed to be home, and he was gone past like 6 p.m. and didn't tell me where he was.
Why you wouldn't like go looking for him?
I'd be like, what the fuck? Where could you possibly be? What would you possibly be doing?
Yes, exactly.
Although I have to say, too, my first call would be his mom, but not 48 hours after I haven't seen him.
No.
Like that day, I'd be like, hey, is Cody at your house?
Yeah. You'd be slightly concerned after like an hour of not knowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when Kirby's mom finds out that it's 2 days, she starts to fear that there was like a work deal gone wrong, since he was in the gold and silver business. That can be like
Rightfully so.
scary.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Caitlin's very nonchalant. Just like, oh yeah, I mean, he'll come home eventually. I'm not too concerned about it.
Well, you're concerned enough to shoot off a message, but
Yeah, so the mom was like, I'm calling the police. Like, we need to put a missing person out. And Caitlin says, nah, hold on. Wait, don't call them. Let me check the deer stand real quick. In what circumstance is someone staying in a fucking deer stand for 2 full days?
I mean, we got some pretty bougie deer stands here, but not ones that
did not look like they did there.
Not ones that I'm thinking you're going to stay in for several days.
Not coming home, showering, eating, nothing.
No.
She calls Kirby's mom back and he's not at the tree stand. She's shocked. Very confused why he's not in the tree stand. Yeah. Okay. I am firing through this. This is great. Okay.
Why?
Dude, right. Exactly.
You're just making shit up. You know?
And I want to say that the mom was like, he's not in the fucking tree stand, dude.
Well, is it like a hunting shanty or a tree stand?
No, it's a tree stand.
Why the fuck would he be in a tree stand?
I don't know. But
I mean, those are different things. But
before she went to check, the mom was very persistent. Like, he's not there. Don't waste your time.
Why would you think he was there?
You also have to go up a really big, it had video footage of their house and where the tree stand was. You have to either go up a really big hill that, like, the sister, she was recording herself trying to go up the hill. It's essentially like a mud pit. Like, you just keep sliding down. Or you have to go the whole way around. Kirby made a path for his side-by-side that he would take out to his tree stand, and it was like pretty far out of the way, and then you would have to like cut through the woods. I want to say that his truck and his side-by-side are home.
Well, then he didn't walk there. This is neither here nor there because we know that he didn't.
Yes.
So regardless,
you would think if you saw the truck and the side-by-side, you'd be like, like, he didn't, wait, He's got to be here somewhere.
Like, I'm really trying to put myself in the shoes of that person. And like if all of his stuff was here, he'd been gone for 2 days. I think he was dead. If I'm being honest, I would just assume that he was dead or got kidnapped. I guess, because like where else you gonna be?
Yeah. Okay. She's on the phone saying he's not in tree stand, right?
Yeah.
She starts saying Kirby, his name, in a very faint, like fake freaking out voice while she's on the phone with the mom. So she's like, "Oh, Kirby. Okay. The mom immediately hangs up. Her and stepdad, I believe it's stepdad, go to the house.
So she's on the phone.
No, actually, I think she calls the actual dad and is like, "Go to the house right now," like speeds there.
Okay, so hold on. They don't say goodbye. She just is like,
I think she just
click.
hangs up. I think
good.
she kept saying like, what's going on, and she didn't answer. So she was just like, I'm going, period. Sped there. Dad got there as well. When they get to the house, they can hear Caitlin screaming on the phone with the police. They see her standing over Kirby's body.
Uh-huh.
It didn't say 100%. It's covered. All they called it was a cover. It could have been a tarp or a blanket.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going to call it a tarp because that's what my mind continually says.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that. So Kirby's body is under this tarp next to the carport in which you have to walk past in order to get to the tree stand that we were checking earlier.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a toolbox lying next to him
Okay.
on top of the tarp. Yes. So it was set up to look like he was doing like work around the house, and this toolbox fell on him and killed him.
So
Big Dummy didn't realize the toolbox would be underneath the tarp.
yeah. Why was the tarp there?
I don't know. It was never said why the tarp was over top of him.
So did she say the toolbox fell on him? Who said that?
She did.
So she calls the police and she's like, I think the toolbox fell on him.
And killed him.
All right. Got it. I'm tracking, I guess.
Reminder. The order of things laying on the ground is Kirby, then tarp, then toolbox.
Uh-huh.
Toolbox is on top.
Yeah.
Okay. So the stepdad, he essentially like took one for the team. Everyone's very upset.
Yeah.
But mom and dad obviously can't do it. Stepdad is still very upset, but he takes one for the team and he lifts up the tarp and he looks. Very obviously has been dead and there's no saving him. There's blood coming from like right below his head to like his chest area. There's like a pool of blood.
Mm-hmm.
That's not new.
Yeah.
So when the cops got there, they finally declared him dead.
Yeah.
There's no way saving this man. And Caitlin says, and I quote, "Oh my goodness, he committed suicide." And the officer was like,
Quote.
"Yeah."
Is this like body cam somewhere?
No.
Oh. Just like
I
everybody's
think it
like,
was
this
his
is,
mom.
This is what she said.
His mom
Okay.
or sister said.
Okay.
this
I
is
was like
exactly
hoping
what
it was
she said.
body cam because I just wanted to see like, how does one say that?
No. And the officer looked at her and he was like, "Ma'am, this is a homicide. There's no way he killed himself." So it was unsure if she was trying to like lead the officer to like, "Oh, he killed himself. Oh no." There was also a gunshot wound found during the autopsy, saying that he had been dead for a minimum of 2 days.
Where was he shot?
It did not tell me. I'm assuming around the chest because that's where the blood was coming from.
Okay.
So we already talked about how you have to go past where he was laying.
Yeah.
Now, if she decided that she was going to climb that hill, like she said she did, with a baby strapped to her, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
You walk forward, you go right out the door. The carport is to her right,
Mm-hmm.
within like 10 feet where
Mm-hmm.
he was laying. Like his body would have been like 10 feet from her. You're telling me you didn't look over and see a tarp there? You didn't see anything suspicious?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, I also want to say that when we found out that she was a murderer, this is back to the salon thing, my employee was like, she did reschedule. Should I cancel that appointment? And I was like, I'm a little scared she might get out of jail and kill us for canceling her hair appointment, so no.
I want to pause and say this is still all allegedly.
Yes, this is why it's
still allegedly.
conspiracy.
It's still allegedly because she
yes.
has not been convicted, nor has her father or mother been convicted of anything. So
Correct.
this is still all alleged. Don't come for us for defamation or whatever by saying that you did indeed do those things when we're making the caveat that it's alleged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The police finally clear the scene. They asked for someone to come back because everyone left the house. They asked for someone to come back to the house so they could give them the okay in person that they're allowed to enter and go around the house again.
Mm-hmm.
So Caitlin and Casey, which Casey is Kirby's sister,
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones who go. She had been staying at Kirby's mom, whose name is Maddie. So Caitlin and Enola have been staying with the mom.
Okay.
They go, they get the okay. And Caitlin immediately goes into the nursery to get clothes and stuff for Enola.
Mm-hmm.
And Casey follows her in. And Caitlin, like, leans against the wall and, like, slides down the wall and is like, I didn't kill your brother. Up until this point, no one in the family saw her as a suspect.
Yeah.
Like, they were, and the sister was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
And then Caitlin goes, do I need an attorney? And Casey's like, do you?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I am telling you, this family 100% did not suspect her whatsoever. And then she pulled that.
The guilty be guiltin'.
Seriously.
I'm not. Okay. I love a different true crime podcast I listen to always talks about how stupid
Criminals are.
Like, if you would have I'm glad she didn't. Whatever.
Right.
Plant the seeds. I'm happy about that. But if you would have just kept your fucking mouth shut,
nobody would have
suspected you.
At least
maybe
not for a long time.
It would have come out in the wash, I'm sure. But, like, you were all good.
Yeah.
Why did you say anything, you dummy?
If they thought that she killed him, why are they housing her?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yep.
Silly head.
So that scene was ended, and Caitlin is staying at Maddie's, Kirby's mom's. Casey wakes up with her kids. She grabs a bunch of food from a restaurant, take over to her mom's house for everyone to be able to eat and not have to worry about actually like cooking or making anything. When Casey gets to her mom's, Caitlin and the baby are no longer at the house.
Oh.
They decided that they were going to go back to the house that the dad/boyfriend was killed at. And that's where they're going to stay. Now, I don't know about you, but if Zach was killed here, I'm not coming back here for a very long time.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
And I don't have kids, so maybe it had to do with like the baby being in its home, but no way.
It's a baby.
It's still a baby.
The baby's not.
Like, we're talking a few months old.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not being at its home.
I don't know what she told them, but she just wanted to go back home.
Yeah.
And at this point, Caitlin's parents are coming back to Missouri. Now, let's remember that they left 3 days ago.
Conveniently 1 day prior to this incident.
Yep. So they leave.
The 1st.
Okay, they leave the 1st.
She calls mom the 2nd.
And they come back.
They come back the 3rd. The 4th.
Third.
They come back
Third
the
or
3rd.
fourth.
So they leave on the 1st. They come back 2.5 days later?
Yes. Which, like, my family would.
Well, yeah. Yeah,
it's just still
okay.
odd.
It's weird
It
in
is.
hindsight, but like, yes, you're right. Even if I just went to visit my sister and then her husband got murdered, I'd go back.
Right.
I get it,
Exactly.
I guess. Yeah.
So when the police were investigating Kirby, like looking through his stuff, they found a receipt from Kroger for groceries. And all of his groceries were still in the back of his truck when they found him. So he was murdered as he was walking into the home.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say that that's fucking weird. And that I felt like that was important to know. Okay, so Kirby always said,
That is weird.
you know how pissed I'd be if Zach died coming in from carrying groceries? Like, get the groceries inside.
In her defense, given that this is still alleged, 2 days, the groceries. Unless she didn't know he was getting groceries, don't you think she would have taken the groceries? You know what I mean?
I don't think that girl had a fucking brain in her. Why are you killing him on his own property? Why are you saying that you walked past exactly where he was killed? Why are you saying that he committed suicide when he's been dead for if he committed suicide 2 days ago, you're saying, hey, I walked past his body at least once. None of this adds up.
No. The grocery part is weird, though.
It was very confusing.
That's weird.
Because I think I'd be like, where the fuck is my iced coffee? God damn. Like, how long can you take? 2 days to get the iced coffee? Come on. Anyways, Kirby always said to his mom, I don't have a will. I'm not making a will yet. However, I have written down exactly where I want all of my assets to go if something happens to me.
Yeah.
He kept it in. He had a room full of safes that kept his guns. He had gold and silver in there and all his money, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, Casey, his sister, and his mom were like, all right, it's 2 or 3 days later. We got to kind of get the roll. We got to start doing this. So they go to the house to find this essentially will, but not legal will. And they notice like weird things through the house or like through everything. So they go in the yard and there's like truck marks through the yard.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever pulls up. Like they pulled straight
like
up.
new?
Yes.
Since they've not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And the carport is literally like 10 feet from the house. You don't have to drive. Like,
there'd be no reason to be driving.
There'd be no reason to be driving directly to the door unless you can't walk that far, but it's not far.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
So the doorknobs are also changed. The locks are changed to the house.
Okay.
So they're like, that's weird, but also still not thinking Casey or Caitlin did it.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to protect her and her baby.
Mm-hmm.
She changed the locks so no one can get in just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. No problem. They go into the house. Casey is playing with the baby while Maddie is trying to get into the safes. All right. Backstory. The police asked for something that he had in his safes when they were investigating. The mom, Maddie, went in, got it out for them. No problem. This is 2 days later. She goes back, tries to get in the safe, and the dad, Caitlin's dad follows her into the room and was like, we don't want any problems. And she's like, I'm mourning. Like, I don't have room for problems.
Yeah.
I am here to do things for my son as he's dead.
Yeah.
He starts like being really aggressive. And Casey gets up from playing with the baby and she's like, what what's the problem? And he's like, we need to speak about this in the garage.
Okay.
Okay, Maddie tries to get in the safes. All the codes are changed
Oh, good.
to the safes. Okay. So Casey goes to the garage with Caitlin's dad. And Dad suddenly confronts her, being really aggressive, saying that she accused Caitlin of Kirby's death. They like brushed off that Caitlin was like, hey, I didn't kill your brother. They still do not believe it's her.
Yeah.
They're not even questioning that it's her.
Yeah.
At all.
Right.
And the dad's like, ooh, I'm big macho man. Like, fuck off, dude.
So they're in the garage. What does he say? Like, what?
He's just saying, like, how dare you accuse my daughter of killing her boyfriend.
But they didn't. So,
right.
All right, then.
Right. Caitlin is not there during this time either.
Where is she?
Oh, going to spend girl time.
Okay.
Yep.
With who? She had friends there?
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. So
weird.
Yeah. I personally, if my husband just died, I don't think that I'm going to spend girl time. I think that you would come over and be in my house, but so would my parents.
Yeah.
Like, this would not be where I'm going to the fucking mall to get a pedicure.
Yeah.
Not
we're
a
just
time.
rotting somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. But she's not in the home at all. Like, she is out and about doing her thing.
Fascinating.
So Casey had it was either Casey or Maddie. They had like a weird feeling, and they went over to the dad's truck.
Mm-hmm.
It is filled to the brim with gold and silver. Filled.
Oh, good.
Like, almost overflowing out of the truck bed, and that's why there are tire tracks, because he pulled the truck up to the door so he could take all of the stuff from the safe. Yeah. Once they confront him about it, the dad, he starts getting super aggressive and saying, "You're in my house." This house is solely in Kirby's name. It is not in Caitlin's name at all.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So it took so long to do like the autopsy and stuff. They didn't have the funeral until December 17th. He was killed on November 30th. This is just a fun fact.
Okay.
So they all pack up and they go back to Virginia. Caitlin, mom, dad. December 20th.
So they can't stop him from taking the gold?
I don't think that they were in a situation where they had the mind power to give a fuck. Like, they were angry, but your son and brother just died.
Yeah, no, I get that. But, like, was anything done about that? Do we know? Like, hey, he stole all of the gold from the safe?
And silver. They also rented a U-Haul and filled it with everything from the house that they could possibly get. Again, not Caitlin's shit at all. But they can't get in the safe to get the paper.
You know what's really funny is that, like, had she done nothing and, like, never made them suspicious,
she might have gotten away with it.
Well, not even that part. There's a good chance that, like, she would have gotten some of the money. And she would have gotten the furniture. Like, there's just things, like, she would have gotten anyway if he just died.
Yeah.
So, like, it's funny to me that they're like, let's snatch all this stuff up. But, like, had you bided your time, you probably would have got stuff anyway.
Well, I want to say, too, this is actually the next thing that I was going to say. Kirby's mom... so they tried to stay really civil with her, even though that was like really fucked up of her to do. They tried to stay civil, and Kirby's mom sent her a child support check from Kirby's account every single month.
You know what? I think I knew that.
Yeah. She sent it to the Virginia address, right?
Yeah.
So for a while, Caitlin stays in contact with them. Sends pictures, keeps them updated on how Enola's doing. And then she just stops talking to them whatsoever. Like, essentially ghosts them. So Enola's first birthday is coming up, and this is July of 2023. They try to get in contact to her, like, her birthday's coming up. We'd like to get her gifts. How's she doing? Send us pictures. Nothing. Does not respond. So Kirby's mom, her attitude changes from, like, sad and very annoyed to, like, angry and super worried about this baby, her grandchild. So she calls the police in Virginia where they are living, and she asks for a welfare check to make sure that the baby's all right. She gives them the address that she sends the checks to, obviously, like where they're living. The police show up, and just so happens that the entire house is burnt to the fucking ground. There is nothing standing at that house except for a mailbox.
Yeah.
Nothing.
In Virginia.
Yep.
Okay.
So it is the 1-year anniversary of Kirby's death, which would be November 30th of 2023.
Okay.
Exactly 1 year. Caitlin, mom, and dad are all arrested on 2 counts of larceny, 1 count of conspiracy, and 1 count of capital murder.
On the anniversary.
The exact anniversary. They have not released the affidavit still.
The affidavit.
Yeah. Over a year later. Still don't have it. And I did ask my husband, who's a police officer, why would they do that? And he said that once you release it, you cannot add to it.
I see.
So they're still gathering evidence. It is April of 25, everybody. There has to be so much evidence going on back there. I also want to say that the state of Mississippi, they allow the death penalty for capital murder.
So they're arrested. What day was Caitlin in the salon?
She was in the salon November 22nd and got arrested November 30th. So it was a little over a week.
Do we know why she came back here?
Oh, because her dad bought a house in cash in Clarion for them to live in. But she was living with her grandma until she moved in there.
Do we know when she came back here?
November 30 or December 20th of 23.
She got arrested in 23?
22.
So
23. 23 she got arrested. So she came back
November 30th of 23 she got arrested.
Yes.
So she came back
December
22.
Yes.
So for almost a year she had been living, quote unquote, back home because they are from here.
Interesting. Shelly has done her hair twice.
Oh.
August of 23 she was in. And November of 23 she was
So inconspicuously. She had been here for almost a year.
Yeah.
Back home.
Yeah.
Essentially. So I wonder do we know when the house burned down in Virginia? Or what that's about?
No.
Interesting potential arson.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the person that I listened to was like. I feel like she might catch a count of arson as well. But
her, maybe not. Maybe her dad.
Jeff.
So other fun things about that. The mom was released.
Yes, the mom has been released on bail. And Jeff.
Pretty soon after the arrest.
No. It was within the past 2 months.
Like from today.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was released on bail pretty immediately. Not immediately, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, August 24. August of 24 is when she was released. So I guess she was in there for 9 months.
They were moved to they were arrested in Virginia
Yeah, and she
And then eventually they were extradited.
Yes. Hold on. Every news article you read on this, because I know some of you are going to look shit up, as you should. But let me... Every fucking news article, it talks about the murder a little bit, and then it always jumps to Jeff Spence, the dad, stole a fucking deer. Took a deer from a local farm that's worth millions of fucking dollars.
He's worth millions of dollars.
Millions of fucking dollars. They were selling his sperm.
Yeah. So there's a deer farm.
Goliath.
There's a deer farm in this region that breeds deer. Like, I don't know if they maybe send it off to like deer farm, like trophy hunting farm stuff, or it's just like selective breeding. You know, honestly, I don't know a lot about the deer breeding world, much like show cats or, you know, cattle or whatever. I don't really know what the deer situation is. I don't know if you're putting those out in like trophy hunts, like in a preserve-ish situation where you can go like hunt the animals in that specific fenced in area. Sounds like cheating if you ask me, but okay. I don't get it. I don't get it. But these are like huge, like farm-grown bucks.
I explained it to Zach. Like, think of a show dog poodle.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know what they're doing with them in the end.
I just know that they're selling the sperm.
Yeah.
And they're making a lot of money.
Because they do, like, I mean, you're growing these absolutely enormous racks that look ridiculous and are probably like atypical with like 270 billion points. Your face says something to me.
Because I didn't look this up before. Yo, there is so many articles about Goliath.
Well, you have to think, like, in the scheme of that specific niche of the world, that was probably a huge deal at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And
their news articles are everywhere.
And this was like over 20 years ago.
Yeah. 1999. I don't know why the fuck I'm like internally angry about this, because we're talking about someone dying. We're talking about a death. We're talking about a memorial on someone. And they're like, hey, by the way, this guy also stole a fucking deer. Like, this does not, I know that it was meant to be, this is the character of the dad. This is what he has done in his past. But, like, you steal a deer, that's not the fucking same as murdering someone.
All of that about him aside, I guess. I'm really interested to see what happens, because we don't have a date.
No, there's no court date. At least it's not released to the public. There might be a court date, but they're not willing to release it. I think that there's going to be a lot of hustle and bustle and picketing and angry people outside of the courthouse if they do know about it.
Yeah, people are going to be pissed about this. It seems like it got a very rapid online following very soon after the arrest. The initial arrest.
Yeah.
Went pretty crazy.
It did.
It grew a lot.
At least it did to me. I mean, we're in the area, so maybe we think that it's bigger than what it is, but it did seem...
Well, the guy that got killed isn't even here. So,
No.
That's...
No, but she got arrested here.
Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of people like true crime enough that this is, like, interesting. This is an interesting story.
I also need to say that she rescheduled her appointment, and then she got arrested. That following Wednesday, I came into work, and my employee was like, hey, a client canceled with so-and-so. Her appointment wasn't until January, but I'll let you know, because they do tell me that stuff. And I was like, what's her name? And she told me. And I was like, you're fucking lying.
How responsible of her, though.
Yeah, because I said to her, she's in jail. And she's like, she called. And I was like, did she use her one call to tell us she can't make it to her appointment?
I'm really disappointed.
She doesn't want her card charged.
I'm really disappointed that that's not the case.
Yeah, no, she didn't call from jail, because I immediately ran to the phone as soon as she told me that. And I went to, like, caller ID. And it was, like, a home phone number. The last name was Spence. And I said, maybe it was her grandma, because that's who she was living with. And the girl was like, no, the girl sounded like she was, like, 30.
Yeah.
Higher 30s. Or
really disappointing.
Yeah.
that she didn't call from jail. That would have been so funny.
I know. And I was like,
On principle, when people come from jail, that's funny.
I don't know. I don't know if it really was her that called, but all signs point to yes, because if it was like a friend that called or something, it wouldn't show up as the last name Spence.
Right.
And it was a home phone. It was not a cell phone.
Yeah.
So.
Wild.
Yep. Yeah. I can't imagine her friend went over to her grandma's house and was like, hey.
And pretended to be her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to see what the trial finally brings. Yeah. And we learn if she wasn't directly involved, if she was just an accomplice, or what the alleged relationship situation is. Because per what she's told your employee, she played it at the very least. And maybe that's personal justification.
Abuse.
Maybe she's trying to
make herself feel better.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Even if it wasn't necessarily as dramatic as perhaps she was making it.
Right.
Maybe that was her way of, clearing her conscience at the time. And
I normally take things as there's two sides to every story, and the truth is right in the middle.
Yeah.
Until proven otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like there's too much evidence on one side versus the other for me to be totally neutral on this, though.
Yeah.
Far too much.
Yeah. And if it was premeditated.
Yep.
Or if it was a crime of passion. Like, there are so many factors that would make me feel different ways
about the situation.
Sure. And if I could empathize at all or not. Yeah. My guess is probably not. But
I mean,
I can't say.
I also, the dad stole a deer, so.
And on that note,
we made one whole
brain.
Have a good week, everyone. I hope you enjoyed us talking about our local murderer.
Or not.
I'm definitely gonna we're gonna write a letter to Jeff.
Get him on.
My name's Jeff. Yeah, we're gonna write him a letter and be like, hey, we don't give a shit that you killed someone. We're interested in Goliath.
Allegedly.
There's no alleged.
On the murder.
Oh, I thought you meant on Goliath.
I feel
and I'm like,
obligated to continue to emphasize the allegedness of this because nothing's been proven.
Well, this is our con.
It's conspiracy. We have our feelings about it, but there's no proof.
Con artist too, though, because they stole a lot of stuff from him.
He's not a con artist. He's just a thief. We know that.
Oh, yeah,
That's true.
He did steal a deer, in case you forgot.
And he did take the gold. Legal or not, we don't know. But
I wonder if he took the gold in the same way he took the deer. You think he took the deer and put it in the back of his fucking truck? And was like, you stay there.
Dude, can you imagine? Hold up. He gets it, straps it in the passenger seat, seatbelts that bitch in there. Can you imagine the rack just taking up the entire front of a truck? You better be driving like a king cab. Put that thing in there. Boop.
You better hope he doesn't turn his fucking head or all the windows are gone, dude. All of them.
And on that note, we've made one whole brain. Goodbye, everyone.
See you later.
Bye.
We got one brain between us, don't you know? Two girls trying to make this show. Life and issues, highs and lows. Laugh it up, anything goes. With two girls and just one brain. Common sense is spreading thin. Talking life through joy and pain. Tune in, laugh and let us in. Got dilemmas, got our flaws. Spill the tea with no pause. Watch us laugh, breaking laws. Two minds might find lost cause. With two girls and just one brain. Common sense is spreading thin. Talking life through joy and pain. Tune in, laugh and let us in. One brain, that's all we got. Join the ride, like it or not. Taking swings, miss the shot, but our humor's always hot. With two girls and just one brain, common sense is spreading thin. Talking life through joy and pain. Tune in, laugh, and let us in. One brain, that's all we got. Join the ride, like it or not. Taking swings, miss the shot, but our humor's always hot. With two girls and just one brain.